people were doing these like very modern solutions. They were like using AI and like virtual reality and stuff like that, where I was like, okay, I have no idea how to incorporate that in a solution, but they actually did it.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 8 of the Unofficial Ignition podcast. My name is Jonas and I'm joined by Mathias. Mathias, you were at the ICC conference a few months ago.
Yeah.
And that is the Ignition yearly inductive automation that invites the community in to talk about Ignition. How did you find the conference?
So for me it was the very first time at the conference, and I found it like such a good experience. Like it was there's a lot of integrators from all around the world. I met people from like even from Australia and New Zealand, and like a few from Europe as well, and many came from the States and South America. But like it was a broad bunch of integrators
all over the world.
All over the world, yeah. So it was very cool, and like the whole community. Like I've been using the forum a lot on the Inductive Automation's homepage, and there's like everybody's just like pitching in to help each other, and that was sort of like the same vibe I got when I was at the conference. Like people were just, even though they are competitors, they were just like talking with each other and sharing like information and solutions and experiences with Ignition. So everything was centered about Ignition, but it was just like, even though people were like competitors, and they were just still like helping each other. So that was very cool.
Yeah. You told me earlier there was a vibe of innovation and inspiration, and everyone was just high on that instead of...
Exactly. It was like Inductive Automation said that themselves, that they were so like blown away about like how the community is just like giving so much back to Inductive Automation about like feedback and like what they want and what they don't want, and also like they said that some years ago, Don Pearson from Inductive Automation had said like they wanted to host these community conferences every second year, and people were just like so angry. Exactly, and it was very demanding that they wanted the conference to be a yearly event.
Awesome.
So that's very cool. It's
and they're listening.
From my exactly. That's also some of the points I got from the whole ICC, is that Inductive Automation is actually listening to the whole community. There's some other like SCADA developers, or like
who comes from the old world, maybe.
Who comes from the old world? And
yeah.
Some companies, SCADA companies, that's not like, they're not listening to the community in the same way. They're just like producing their products and say, hey, this is our product, go ahead and use it. You have to pay for it, but use it, and this is what you get. It's not like they're like changing their product in order to like comply with the desire of the community. And here I could really feel that the community has a big voice in Inductive Automation, and Inductive Automation tries to like deal with that in a good way. They try to like listen to what is the feedback and what is actually what the community wants, and then they try to build that into Ignition. And that's also because like the community of Ignition is the integrators typically. So and the integrators are producing solutions for their clients. So like they know what the clients' needs are. Right. So they need to like go back to Inductive Automation and say, hey, my clients want this. I need to be able to do it like this, or do something like this. Can you please fix that? And then Inductive Automation say, okay, they take that into consideration and tries to comply with that. So I think that's very cool.
And you've done that a few times, right? Outside of the conference, being able to just phone up.
Yeah, I've just called them and at several times, and just I'm having an issue, a problem, something I can't figure out, like why is this doing this and this, and then I've just reached out to them, and they are very like keen on helping and open about it.
What
so
it could be.
Exactly. So it's either by email or direct phone call. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You feel like they are close to you. You can come and ask them, and they really want to help you. So.
And you participated in a few workshops as well. How was that?
Yeah, I think that was very good. I think it was nice to see, like, get some like new perspective of some of the stuff. There was some new modules I saw in one of the workshops that I haven't like been working with, but it was sort of an eye opener for me that what I could actually do with that module.
Yeah.
There was the web development module called web dev.
Yeah.
It's actually very cool that you can like expose a lot of the resources or like the properties you have and tags and stuff like that from the gateway. You can expose that into like if some like third party program makes a HTTP request to your gateway, then you can actually like expose some data there, and you can also take in commands and like so you have like a sort of like a new way to control everything. That's pretty cool.
Ignition is a massive system.
Yeah.
And that was apparent as well, right? When you brought back a lot of ideas and told a lot of stories about what people actually use Ignition for. It's pretty mind-blowing how wide a range of solutions that people come up with when they start working with the different modules in different combinations. Was there a project in particular that you were fascinated by?
There was several projects actually. Like, but one of the things I saw was that like people were doing these like very modern solutions. They were like using AI and like virtual reality and stuff like that. Where I was like, okay, I have no idea how to incorporate that in a solution, but they actually did it. And there was like a particular one project where they used a drone to fly around like a landfill, and then they just like used virtual reality so you could actually go into the plant and see how that landfill was looking and what was the state of it and stuff like that.
Real life data from.
I believe so. So I think that was pretty cool to incorporate that into the project as well. So that's pretty cool. And
big possibilities.
There's a lot of possibilities with Ignition. Like that was also the theme of the conference was limitless, and I think that's pretty like a good term for Ignition at the moment.
I'm very excited. You brought back some great stories, and definitely want to go myself next year and see what it's all about. What about the talks? Did you get to see some of the talks and some of the cool presentations?
Yeah, I went to the keynote where they talked a bit about like everything around Ignition, and here I heard that they have Inductive Automation has realized that a lot of the integrators are using Inductive University as like an onboarding tool. So a lot of like whenever they get a new integrator or like a new like employee, they're just like sitting them down and get them to see all the videos that are in the Inductive University, which the same things we have done. But I wasn't aware that a lot of other people were doing that as well. Because like, but it makes completely sense because there's like many hours of content in there just about Ignition, the tag structure,
getting an overview.
Exactly, an overview, different devices, and like it's a good way of like getting to know Ignition in the beginning. So that's a huge plus that Inductive Automation has made that free of charge, so everyone can see that. So that's pretty cool. And then one of the other things they talked about was bringing this computing power to the edge of the network. So bringing like the device with the Ignition to the source of the data. So in the edge of the network where you have the PLC connected to some sensors or something, then you place some gateway there, and that could, for example, be the Ignition Edge solution that they have now to use that in the edge of the network. And there was also some of the things they talked about. So that's pretty interesting.
Excellent. Any other cool talks? What about the Build-a-thon with how did that end?
Yeah, it ended with a win for Kevin McCloskey. So I'm more a Travis Cox fan. So, but it was all right. It was very fun. Very fun.
When you came back, you talked a lot about a talk you've heard about, or you've been to about optimizing a gateway process. What was that about?
The whole talk was about optimizing the performance of the Ignition gateway, and we have a project currently where we took over from some other people, and then we saw that the whole performance of the gateway was not as good as expected. And then after that talk, I I got a few ideas, mostly about like the tag bindings. There were used UDT bindings in this project, and there in that talk I got to know about like indirect. I knew about indirect tag bindings, but here they talked about like how more efficient they are compared to the UDT bindings. So and then I went back home and we tested it out, and we actually saw a performance of an increase in the performance of about like 4 to 10 factor. So a factor of 4 to 10. So
impressive, yeah.
that was pretty impressive, and
Made a lot of sense.
Exactly. It was very noticeable. Early on, like opening a new window in the client, in the running client, took about like, I don't know, 5 to 10, maybe 20 seconds. But now after we changed it to indirect tag bindings, it's a matter of like 2 seconds, and then we have like the windows open and ready to go. So that's a very good performance increase.
Yeah. So fun times at ICC.
Very fun times.
Excellent. I think that's it for now, Mathias. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week.
See you.